Hello, screenwriters, and welcome to Writing for Screens, the screenwriting step-by-step project, episode 244. Way more than I ever thought I would do, I might add. My name is Glenn Gers, and I come to you every Monday through Friday, if I can make it, at 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time Zone. That is where it is 3 p.m. when I speak to you. I come here to let you look over my shoulder, share my screen as I write a TV pilot script in order to teach a thing that I think is kind of undertaught in the screenwriting teaching biz, which is the process. The day-to-day, line-by-line, figure out how to get all your thoughts into an outline, into a rough draft, rewrite that into a readable draft process, which does not mean you'll write a great script. It does not mean you'll make $1 billion. It just means you'll get the job done and have a script at the end. That is the only thing I am trying to explain here. How you organize vague, abstract things into concrete pages of a script written in scenes. That's it. And in order to show you how I do that, I am just letting you see the process that I figured out for myself in a 25-year career writing for TV and movies. I am now on my way out of the business, and I thought on my way out I would leave behind these techniques, these tricks, these tools in case they are valuable to you when you are facing the blank page, because that is all I can do. There is no grand system. There is no right way or wrong way to do it. If these things help you, use them. If they do not, throw them away. And also, you do not have to watch all 244 of these to get the idea. I'm just doing it because it's this thing that's taken on its own momentum. And so in case it's helpful, in case it's comforting, in case it's entertaining, it's here. But the main things I have to actually teach you, if you want to know what I think is the most valuable stuff I have to say about screenwriting, it is on my channel, Writing for Screens at youtube.com. The first 3 playlists, which I have screenshotted here: Screenwriting Essentials, Screenwriting Tools, Skills, Craft, and The Process, Being a Writer. Those are the names of the first 3 playlists on my channel, and that is where the goods are. That is where I have tried to figure out topics like genre or dramatic action or flashbacks, and I have put together a 10-minute lesson that I think is what I know that's useful to you. That's it. It is not a great system. It is not the guaranteed way that it'll solve all your problems. It's just tools and skills and process and what I have found to be useful in my work. If it's useful to you, great. If it's not, figure out what is. Use it as a thing not to do. Cool. Whatever works for you is what you need to do. There is no right or wrong way to do it, except it is wrong to harm other people or harm yourself in the process. Hello, something else is here. And hi, Nathan. Yes, I like that shirt too. Thank you very much. By the way, thank you, Nathan. Nathan has been rewatching from the beginning, which I do not necessarily advise, although Nathan seems to be getting a lot out of it, so cool. You do not have to watch 244 hours of this. However, when you are, you will notice that there are 2 episode 19s, which Nathan brought to my attention, and I fixed that today. I have renumbered one 19A. So there you go. Hey, something else is here, has written 9 pages yesterday. Bravo. Yay. Excellent. That is what we are here to do. Write stuff. Hi, Jonathan. Hi, Najo. So yeah, writing is the name of the game, but let's do some of it. All right. So as you know, I am currently working on the pitch document, which is a thing. I am calling it that. Not everyone does these. Not everyone calls it the same thing. But what it is for me is a document, a little proposal, a little pitch on the series that you are writing the pilot for. So this pitch document is only something that would go along with a pilot script. Okay? It does not replace the pilot script. It just talks about all the things that aren't in the pilot script, like what you think is going to happen in the rest of the arc of the series. Not in every detail. In fact, I am working very hard to de-detail this because it's supposed to be a good read, supposed to give you ideas, things to think about. Okay, so hello Gerardo, good to see you. Hello Sithu, am I pronouncing that right? Please let me know. Hi Sithu Ang. I found you on Film Courage and it was awesome video. Yes, great. I am so glad. Thank you. Once again, if you like my explaining things, not this way, this is lovely, but this is where the good stuff is. I cannot emphasize enough that if you go to my channel, the first 3 playlists, that is where I put my effort. That is where I tried to condense down into short, useful bits of thought. And short, useful bits of thought is not as easy as it looks. I am currently working on another dozen or so of those lesson scripts, which I feel are filling in areas I have not yet done. And I will be working on those in the next few months and releasing them in the later part of the fall. Anyway, thank you. Thank you so much. I am so glad that you find it useful. That's great. Yes. Yeah. Cool. Thank you, Nathan. I appreciate that. I feel obligated not to suggest to someone that there is that they have to watch 244 hours of me. That's all. I'm thrilled if anybody wants to, but I just can't live with the idea of like, oh, this will make you a writer. It won't. You know what will make you a writer? Writing. That's what does it. And making your own choices, figuring out what's good for you. Okay. IEL test. I don't know what that is, but I want you to take a deep breath and don't be too nervous because that cannot help you. It cannot help you. Just do the best you can. Maybe you can take it again. Just enjoy. I am indeed wishing you luck. A career out of writing is a tricky thing. It takes a long time. It is well worth learning about. By the way, there's a video I did. The first video I did when I started doing videos was called Help for New Writers. If you are a new writer, I urge you to look at that because I think it's helpful. Hence, I did. Hello, hola, Wonder Woman X. Hola to you too. Okay, I may have asked this before, but it's in my mind. Act breaks be used in TV pilot scripts. Yeah, this is a question that many people ask. There is not a single right answer. Here's the deal. Act breaks. Let's step away from the page for a second. Act breaks. Let's talk about act breaks because here's the deal. The concept of an act is an imposed theoretical construct. There is no such thing as an act, okay? An act is something that we decide we want to do, which is we say we are going to break it into 2 halves. So many plays now, especially late 20th century plays, they're 2 acts with an intermission. The point is to give people a break in the middle. Shakespeare used to do 5, I think. Whatever the convention of that particular distribution mode, that theater system or that television system, that's how they get acts. Acts are sections. That's all they are. So the traditional 20th century mode of television was network television, which was broadcast with commercials. And therefore, they needed to have commercial breaks in the script. They had to say, get ready, you're going to want to get out on the commercial, and when you end on before the commercial, the break before the commercial, in theory, should make you want to sit through the commercial so that you'll come back. There's a little bit of a development or a turn or a reveal as the end of an act. That was partly because they were afraid people would stop watching because of the commercials. So acts developed that concept. there is no natural or proper act division. The act division in network television was in the script. Okay, you did put Act 1, and you, depending on the network, you would have it on a new page or not. Whatever that was, it was for network television. Now, if you go to a streaming service, some streaming services, Peacock, Paramount Plus, Hulu, they are very often also allowing commercials, so they will want commercial breaks written in as well. But something like Netflix, at least at the moment, is not doing commercials, so they don't care if you do act breaks. And so therefore you don't need to put them in. So the answer is, it is not required, but it is an indicator for the reader of the type of show you are writing. If you write one with no commercials, you are saying, I intend to be on a streaming service where there are no commercials. You may have to stop and re-break it down but that's the answer. That act breaks, yes, in a television script, if you are intending to go to the widest possible audience, you can put act breaks in or not. It's a choice. Okay. Does that help you? Yes, you are entirely welcome. I am very glad. Favorite movies. That is almost too big a topic. One day, I will try to make a separate. I'm making a note to do this. A separate live stream that's just on that topic. It requires thought and preparation because I have so many favorites, and many of my favorites are personal to me. I like them. I don't necessarily recommend them to other people, but for whatever reason, there's something about them that I find interesting or provocative or sentimental or whatever it is that I like at the moment. The main thing is I like so much. I am a liker. I find things to like in most works of art, or at least most stories. As I get older, I have less time. I watch less, but my list of things to watch is enormous. So the answer is I will put some of my favorite movies down. There was a live stream I did a while ago of movies that influenced me as a young man, which once again may not influence you. They probably shouldn't. They're from 50 years ago. However, I will put in the description of this video when I am done. About 10 minutes after I've shut down this video, I will post in the description a link to that influenced videos. Okay. Yes. Okay, major moves is a weird concept. It's mine alone. And what it basically is just sections, sections of story. In other words, there's natural areas of a story that kind of clump together. Sometimes they're actually sequences. Sometimes they're just, it feels like that's a hunk and then the story takes a big twist and it goes in a new direction and that's a new hunk. I just think of them like, I like to think of the story as in these hunks, sections. They are not formal in any way. They do not, I can change them. They're not, but sometimes when I am trying to look at a story, I don't want to look at every single step, which is an outline. So I want to sort of clump together the big moves. And I call that the major moves because cool name. Partly because as I said, it came from the movie Color of Money, in which Paul Newman playing Fast Eddie Felsen, the hustler, talked about how he's a student of human moves, and it got caught in my head. Student of human moves. It's a very Richard Price kind of line. Richard Price wrote that screenplay. And so when I was thinking, what are the major moves? That's what I came to. Okay. Yes, I won an Emmy, actually. I was nominated for a Writers Guild Award. And yes, Fatal Attraction was not just nodded to. It was the heavy model of Like, Share, Follow. Okie dokie. Okay. Yeah, Inner Demons. Thank you. I got your email on that, Hunter, and it was pretty good. It's like 50-50. It's like 5 out of 10 for me. There is a five's worth of okay stuff. There's stuff that I don't love, and there's stuff that I would have done differently. But that's true of everything. That's life. I don't. Um, I want to create worlds like the Game of Thrones universe, but I also love crime dramas like Breaking Bad. No, it's not. We all should have ambitions. All of those are good ambitions. I have them too. So yeah, just take things one step at a time. That is my main advice about any grand ambition. You have to break it up into small steps that you can do on an average day, like I am going to do now. Okay. Um, okay. What I'm trying to do here is is describe how Madeline and Norman fight Xena. Um, Madeline and Norman fight Xena um, under the pressure of Deacon's about to attack them. No. Cool Hand Luke is not the prequel to Color of Money. The Hustler, which is a magnificent movie, I think much better than Cool Hand Luke, which is nice, but The Hustler is a heck of a movie. And that is not so much the prequel as was the original movie, and Color of Money is a sequel. Yeah, okay, that's true. We did actually say, hey, let's play with this, because truthfully, there is no realistic reason that she would be turning her laptop screen on and off, except that it was kind of like Fatal Attraction. It was just a kind of inside joke. Yes, good catch, Nathan. Okay. So now I'm trying to come up with a brief and exciting and fun way to describe realize they're preparing to confront alongside George's murderer. When Madeline and Norman realize they're preparing to confront alongside George's murderer, serial killer. I don't like alongside. That's very passive. When Madeline and Norman realize, what I want to get to is they have to fight with Xena. Real villain. Real villain. Yes, is it must team up, must join forces? Kind of. It's more like must fight. But that's not. It's not the phrase I'm looking for. It's the construction. I'm looking. This is a thing writers do. I have to figure out a construction which allows me to say they. They their partner yeah, no, thanks. It's too passive. I'm trying. I hear what you're saying. I'm trying to construct a sentence that will not just summarize, but kind of reproduce the action of the scene. This is what I mean when I say it is harder to write these stupid summary sentences than it would be to write the scene. Because of the condensation needed, the compression needed in a summary. Madeline Irwin realized Xena is just as the serial killer approaches their trap. Xena attacks them. You also watched Like, Share, Follow. Yes, indeed. Yes, I like, Share, Follow too. That one I'm really proud of. What's really amazing about Like, Share, Follow is how small the ambitions were. That was something I wrote. That it's so hard to get a company to give you money to make something and to let you direct. It took me until I was quite old and quite experienced to get a company to say, yes, we will put up under $1 million budget to let you direct this movie because we think it's commercial. What was interesting was it had a very, very small ambition, which was simply to be a kind of ultra low budget, stylish, Fatal Attraction that for me I felt had a little more heart than Fatal Attraction. Fatal Attraction is very clever and brilliantly done. It's directed so well. I don't think it's a great script. I think it's rather superficial about the characters. I think it's crafted well, but I don't think it's very emotionally deep, which is probably why it works so well, because it's so Easy. So that was my only goal. My only goal was successfully tell this story, and have some fun in my own style. And it took years to make it. And it's like you look at it and you're like, damn, I did all that work for such a small ambition. That's the thing that always gets me, is how much you have to reduce your ambitions to survive in the business, to accomplish things in the business. Not always, but often. Okay. I'll talk more about that when I'm doing the behind the script on that. In the meanwhile, only realize Xena is the real villain as the serial. Pure. I hate at which point. At which point is just crappy phrasing. You know what? Let's just. Madeline and Norman only realize Xena is the real villain as the serial approaches their trap. Approaches their trap. Their. The trap they have set for him. Xena attacks. Actually, let's see here. Madeline and Norman only realize Xena is the real villain as the serial person. The trap they have set for him. See, the trap that's too distant. Madeline and are already the remote in the remote location. Already hiding, waiting with Xena in the remote location where they set up with Xena in the remote location. With Xena. Yeah. Only realize seen as the real as this. There. Scene attacks them. Just as he arrives. Blowing up their plan to fouling up their plan to trap him. And turning the final confrontation into a four-way lethal game of cat and mouse. Four-way. There we go. That's good. See, that sounds very standard. Turning the final into a four-way lethal game of cat and mouse. That's not bad. Madeline and Norman only realize Xena is the real villain as the serial killer approaches their trap. Xena attacks them just as he arrives, fouling up their plan and turning the final confrontation into a four-way lethal game of cat and mouse. I like that. You see, it may take a while, it may take 20 minutes, but you can come up with a sentence or two that works. That is not unusual for this game of summarizing, this business of summarizing. Takes everything they've got just to survive this. But Deacons and Xena are in the end are murderous. And they murder each other. No, this is not bad. This is not a bad... I'm going to have to reread it later, but as a first draft of a summary, it's got some fun. So Madeline and Norman only realize Xena is the real villain as the serial killer approaches their trap. Xena attacks them. Escape. Desperate to keep her secret hidden, Xena attacks them just as he arrives. Just as Deakins arrives. Okay, there we go. Desperate to keep her secret hidden. Desperate to keep her secret. Xena attacks them just as Deakins arrives, fouling up their plan and turning the final confrontation to a forward-looking game. That's not bad. You see, I have got into one paragraph a whole sequence of dun 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 that is the culmination of our scene. Not bad. All right, pretty good. Pretty good. Okay. Let me go back here now, because what I've done is I did a summary of the opening, and then I did a summary of the end, but I haven't done the middle. So that's what I've got to get. Yeah, thank you, Gene. It's pretty good. It's getting there. It is getting to where I feel like I feel okay about this. And honestly, I'm not kidding when I say it is harder to write these stupid summaries than it is to write a script. Which is why I want to show you this, but just because it's so that when you're doing it, you don't feel bad that it's so freaking frustrating. Because it is. It just feels like what a waste of time. What I really just want to say is just read the script. Just read the script. You'll get it. Although this is stuff that's not in the script, so that's a problem. Okay. Let me. No. They do. It's here. Let's get back, and I will show you. The okay, they think Deakins did it. However, here, moments before the showdown, Madeline and Norman discover that Xena killed George, and then they only realize Xena is the real villain as the serial killer approaches their trap. So what's happening is they've been on the wrong path. They've been hunting the wrong guy because Xena's clever, and so she set them up to think that this guy is the killer, and just as they're about to spring a trap on him with her, they realize she's the real killer. And so she, when she realizes they've realized it, attack them, and then he arrives, and then there's whatever's going to happen is going to happen there. Boom, boom, boom. So now, here's the thing. Having thought of all that, I have this, let me put it here so you can see it. I have a list of the main characters, and this is, this is my checklist of I need to be sure that I figured out a major move, Nathan, the major moves of each one of these characters for the season. So for instance, hi Larry, good to see you. For instance, Dundosky. Okay. The thing I know about Dundosky's major moves are he is proved to be unexpectedly and consistently reasonable and no reason to apologize. You're not writing the story. You don't have to keep it all in your head. That's absolutely fine. Most of season 1 is Dundosky proving himself, take out 2B, unexpectedly and consistently reasonable and focused on justice. How I will do that, I don't know. Shock of his story is he is murdered. The scariest, toughest person in this tale. Okay. So this is Dundosky's major moves, which is he's the scariest, toughest person in the tale, but most of the season is him proving himself to be actually just like in the pilot. This guy, he flips out, he shoots a car, but that's really the only thing he does, and that is not good. He has a dark side. He is murdered. The point of his murder is to show how good the killer, Xena, is. I'm not sure who kills him, and therefore to escalate the threat to Madeline Norman. Okay, so this is Dundosky. So what I need to do here is show these things. Dundosky's death should be the turning point to Mad and Norm running away. Okay, so this is good. This is something that I've just, like, the logic would be if the point of Dundosky is that he's the toughest person and then he gets killed by our killer, so now our killer is more powerful than our strongest character. So therefore we are now more scared of this killer. And that means that I know I had in my head that there has to be some point at which Madeline and Norman stop trying to catch the killer and just run away. That's what we want this to be. Cool. All right. Okay. So now I know something about Dundosky. Okay. Xena has to be the organizing and driving force of the group and investigation. Cool. Okay. So, and then increasingly likable and also has to get and close to a norm. Yeah. Likable. So this is what I know we have to do with her. And then at the end of the second, okay, well, it's episode 7, we need to reveal she is the killer. Well, that's an actually interesting. Is it at the end of the episode 7 or at the end we need to reveal she is the killer? Is that? Here's the thing. If I put that at the end of episode 7, that means all of episode 8 is just that last sequence in the house. That doesn't seem right. Episode 8. I hate to leave it so late because it's just a lot to process. You've got a lot to, when you're going to reveal the end, the secret of the story, you want to give people time to process that. On the other hand, there have been, I'm thinking about 2 really good examples are The Prestige and Mayor of Easttown, where there are just twist after twist after twist, and the last one is late, but it reflects back. So, and how Mayor of Easttown and Prestige pull it off. Just a note to myself. There you go. All right. So that's good. We're making some progress. Well. I'm pleased. I think I'm going to. Should I stop here or should I do one more? What is McLean's story? McLean has to survive. That's one thing I know. Boom. McLean has to survive and grow in this season. How does he grow? Yeah, I feel like McLean is kind of a kid in this. It's in a sense this season for this character is a coming of age story. And I think he needs to get involved, not necessarily romantically, with Cameron, who also is having a coming of age story. Yes, but only very, very loosely. And actually, that's a good point. Is that what I'm going to try and describe here is the major moves. Nathan, look where we are. Major moves. Episode 1. Episode 2. So what I am doing now is simply setting up the let's do this. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 18? No. Okay. Now, what I am doing here is simply creating a space to do it. In other words, I now know that my job is to fill in the blanks. By creating blanks, by saying I need to come up with the major moves of each episode, I am making a challenge for myself of the task I need to do is figure out when the major moves happen. Now, I have to say, I do not know that I am going to do all this. I would do it if I was actually planning to pitch this series and be responsible to actually make it if someone wants it. I think I'm just going to try and get the rough moves, but not every, like, I'm not going to really work out every step of every episode. But this is how I would do that. So I'm showing it to you. Season 1. Okay. See, so now I have a place to do it, which really, really brings me to this most important thing. When you write it down, like I thought to myself, I need to create what Pergany pointed out, an episode by episode rough idea of the series. So I thought, what's the first step in doing that? The first step in doing that is to make a place to put all those parts that I have to figure out. I don't know what they are. I do know a couple. I now know that Dundosky has to be killed right when, which provokes Madeline and Norman to run away. I know that that's going to be around episode 6 or 7, because that's where they're going to do that, because they do that right at the end. So now I have a piece, I will put it in there, etc., etc. That's, but you do it by, okay, you do it by creating a place to put it. And that's, by the way, why I have created for myself this concept of the major moves, meaning just the big things that happen. That's just all it is, the big things that happen. It's just what I call it. You can call it whatever you like. But as it happens, Nathan was asking about that, and here it is in action, demonstrated for your approval. Okay. All right. So that said, coming up in an hour, and I believe I am going to wish you all a super duper afternoon and evening, and I will see you tomorrow to do more. Go write something.